Lions Rock Productions.
This is Jay Moore.
This is Greg Cruz.
This is Bryce Vine.
This is Dexter from The Offspring.
This is Nathan
This
East.
is Sebastian Younger.
This is Daryl Ames.
This is Stuart Copeland.
This is Mick Gillette.
This is Andy Summers.
This is Dr. Bob Greenberg.
This is Gabby Reese.
This is Rob Bell.
Hey, this is John Leon Guerrero.
Hey, and this is Pete A. Turner.
Hey guys, it's Marchelle Sellers.
And I'm Kathy Selders.
And we're with Charity on Top, and we are here to sweeten the Break It Down show.
And now, the Break It Down show with John Leon Guerrero and Pete A. Turner.
Once again, I have my favorite ladies in the house, and as many of you know, our official giving partner is Charity on Top, and it's I know, right? Woo, woo. And what I love about what you always is just the energy in the room whenever we all get together and everything, plus what your mission is. And a number of people have committed with me to do more charity, even if it's a little tiny little bit, right? Because it's the Charity on Top. So I wanted to just kind of do an intro into the holidays. So as we're all looking and trying to think, what can I get for my friend that has everything? You can give them charity. So I was hoping that you guys could give me some ideas and stories on that, because I mean, I'm going to do even more this year, and I think I'm going to change my program and make it a little different, but I'm going to hold that announcement for
The suspense.
Yeah, it's a lot of suspense in my giving, because I like to keep it exciting. But so it's the holidays. So if I'm sitting there on the couch listening to Pete's podcast and I'm doing dishes or whatever, and I want to understand what the heck Pete is talking about, can you guys give me a quick primer on what Charity on Top is and what you do?
Yeah. So Charity on Top gift cards are a sweeter way to give. Our gift cards are specifically for charity. So they're just like any other gift card where you get to redeem it for whatever you wanted to buy. But in this case, it's going to be redeemed for charity. So the person buying the gift card gets a tax deduction because they're making a donation to Charity on Top Foundation already. And they get to load it up for whatever dollar amount they want. And then they get to give it to the person as a gift. Then the person that receives it gets to redeem it for whatever charity they're excited about. And we represent 1.8 million charities, so it's all the charities of the United States. And so whatever cause or nonprofit gets that person excited and that they're involved in, or makes their heart beat fast, they get to choose that charity, and we'll send the money to that charity. And so it's meaningful,
right?
It's personal. It's inclusive. The person that's giving it is saying, I'm not going to decide for you how you're going to use this money. I'm not going to decide for you which charity matters to you. It's not my agenda. It's truly a gift from my heart for your heart, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And then how hard is it, Marchelle, to cash this thing in?
Oh, not hard at all. And the instructions are right there on the back of the card. And you literally can do two things. You can go and, let's say that you volunteer weekly at the organic garden down the street or at the animal shelter. You can bring the card directly to your nonprofit, and they can redeem it for their own self. Or you can go on our website, CharityOnTop.org, and redeem it there. And like Kathy said, we have 1.8 million charities, so you're going to find it. Our favorite game is, find your favorite charity, because people go, well, there's this little charity that, was named after my niece who passed away from leukemia, and so you guys won't know about it, you won't have it, and they are delighted and over the top when they find out that we do. And I think that's what's really amazing too, is what we're finding, because we get to be on the receiving end of the redemptions, is about 75, maybe to 80% of the cards that are redeemed for charities that really most of us have never heard of.
Wow.
So a lot of the big players are getting that 20-25%. All the charities that we all are known, or that we all know and are recognized. But so many people are picking those charities that really mean something to them. And it just goes back to what Kathy says. It's like, it's the most inclusive gift. And it's going, I may not know that you're super interested in this foundation that supported your niece who passed away, so I'm going to give you this gift. And then if that's where you want to use it, because that's what's most important, then I think that really sets us apart. I think is a truly meaningful gift that's like, no, I really want you to have something that means something to you. So really easy.
Who gets the write-off?
The person who purchases the gift card.
Okay. So, and then the other thing I like to, because I, do my weekly giving is, let's say I'm going to donate literally like just $10, like a tiny amount of money, but it adds up over the course of a year. So let's say that I'm going to do Scott Husing's charity he runs called Save the Brave, and I'm going to give them $10. So I can click a box. This is the cool part. I can click a box and go, I'm going to handle all the fees myself so that Save the Brave gets the full $10.
Exactly.
There's no trickery like that at all. And I love that because a lot of places, like, you want to give, but you just don't know. Like, you're kind of in the blind, like, what's this going to cost?
Right.
Well, it is expensive, and the merchant fees can be expensive, and but again, you don't know how much. And someone like Save the Brave or anybody else has to employ staff to go out and raise money for them, which means that they can't give 100% to the program because they have to have staff and people to work the nonprofits. But because you can give through us, we literally give 100% to them, means they didn't have to do a stitch of work.
Right.
So it really is 100% donation, especially when you cover, I think it's $1.50 that you end up covering. And you bring up another good point. There's, really two sides to Charity on Top. And the beauty is still the 1.8 million charities, which you can buy a gift card and say, I'm buying a gift card to give to someone else to choose the charity that they want to donate to, or in your case, and you're fantastic about doing this, really, no, seriously, you like walk the walk, which is amazing, Pete, is that you go on our website and you can say, I just want to make a straight donation. Right now I don't need a gift card because I want to make the donation. So what's the difference between going to every other charity websites or coming to Charity on Top and doing all of your donation? It's an important point because people can still go to the individual websites. Hopefully they'll get their receipt and they'll know what they're doing and whatever. But one of the things we do is it's convenient, right? So you know exactly how to do it. Hopefully it just takes you a minute. Everything is there. And at the end of the year, we can print out a report for you and say, hey, Pete, look at all these great charities you gave to, all in one place. Giving. You don't have to go, how much did I give to them this year or not? What did I do? Because we forget.
Yeah,
we're doing our taxes, and I'm like, wow, I'm sure I was charitable. I just don't recall.
I'm positive I was charitable.
Sure. So in that case, we can condense it all for you and do the reporting, which I think is good.
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, we have great guests come on all the time, and they almost all have some kind of affiliation, like anybody, to some kind of charity that they care about. And so if I have a default, it's like Stefan Cook does this thing called Mission Bit, where he's like, hey, these kids in urban areas aren't even thinking about taking the AP computer science test. I'm going to fix that. Somehow that guy made the news and he was a bad guy. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He's trying to get kids to take AP computer science things.
Right.
Like, let's donate to this guy. So, he comes on my show. I want to help out. And even if it is, if I bought someone lunch that day because I give $10 or whatever it is, fantastic.
That was a great segment, by the way, with Mission Bit. And it just also, I guess it just brings up another point while we're on the topic of making donations, is that in certain cases, maybe when a loved one passes away or a friend asks you to donate to their charity, and you feel like, what, they did my son's 5K, I want to do their stuff or whatever. If you go on to the Charity on Top website and you use that as your donation portal to any of these nonprofit organizations, you don't have to share your information with those charities. So let's say it's a one-time where you're like, I'm just supporting this. I really don't want to be on their mailing list, and I really don't want them selling my name to other charities, because unfortunately that does happen.
But it kind of has to happen, right? I mean, if you're in that business.
They make money off of it. So sometimes they make more money off of that than they do on the other stuff. So one way to really mitigate that easily is just to give through our portal, know that the money is going out the door right away, and also that you're not going to be bombarded. You can still put your name, and you can decide to share your name or share a gift message, but you don't have to share your address or your email with them at all. You share it with us because we're processing your payment, but that never gets shared. We have a very strict privacy policy. So it's nice. It's a great way to give when you really just kind of don't, you're just making the gift, you know?
So as we hit the holidays, Thanksgiving's coming up like in a couple of weeks, which is hard to believe because, wow, it just seems like we just started 2015, but it's almost 2019.
I know. That's what I was saying the other day. It feels like 2015.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And really, seriously, like I've done it, and I haven't been perfect about doing it, but you know what I have done? I've given a lot more and a lot more consistently than I probably ever have.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that part of it. The other thing is, it really is easy. Like a friend of mine was just diagnosed with ALS. And so I now know the charity that's, is like in their ballpark. And it's called Augie's Quest, and it's the guy that made all the live fitness stuff. And we were at a gala event a couple of weeks back, and in the event they raised $1.3 million.
Wow.
Hey, well done.
Yeah, it was exciting, But the thing is, and that sounds like a lot of money, but once you put the money into the research, and they give you a high percentage of what they bring in, it's gone instantly. Yeah. I mean, but they're making progress. Like they've made all these big announcements. I'm hoping to have them on the show at some point.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, because they're putting these things together, and these happy accidents happen where like the cure becomes sort of cure agnostic, and it's like, oh, by the way, this may help with these autoimmunes.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's positive linkages there, and we only need enough of those positive linkages before we figure something out with all of that. So, it's really easy to give to someone like that. Even, again, a tiny little amount. Do it for a friend, $100, whatever it's going to be. It can make a big difference. And like you guys keep saying, the check just shows up. They're like, whoa.
We didn't do anything.
Who doesn't love a check showing up in the mail?
You'd be surprised how fast those charities cash those checks.
Oh, I know, right? It just comes out of left field.
Yeah.
I do want to ask this, though. So, okay, let's say I buy a gift card and the person just doesn't use it. Does it go bad?
It never gets redeemed.
Yeah.
Well, for one thing, our gift cards have no expiration date. We will always, always, always honor any gift card that is being redeemed. So there's no concern about that. Like, they find their card 2 years later. I don't think I ever redeemed this. I should cash this in. They should cash it in. And the charity that they choose will get their money. We are committed to always doing that. You don't need expiration dates. That's done. Then the other thing is if they never ever do redeem the gift, then you already have the peace of mind to know that that gift is being used for charity. We ourselves are a nonprofit, so Charity on Top Foundation will use the money. Right now we're using the money to continue what we're doing and to continue to support the 1.8 million other charities. At some point, we know that we'll have backlog or we'll have a stock of unredeemed cards that we can kind of determine chances are a portion of these will never, ever be redeemed.
Right.
And in that case, then we can start giving them to other charities by giving grants, by funding projects and things like that from Charity on Top Foundation. So we're a little ways away from doing that because we don't have the data to know which cards will never be redeemed. We don't know that quite yet. But in the meantime, it all is going towards charity. Not a penny of it will be waste. We guarantee that. It's all being used for it.
But we also encourage people to do their own tracking. So the good news is so we offer plastic cards, biodegradable, actually 100% biodegradable plastic cards, and also digital cards. So you could actually send someone a gift card through email and have it on digital delivery. And we're going to be announcing tokens pretty soon. So you'll have to check back on the website to find out about tokens. Very exciting.
I'm excited.
But anything digital and delivery, we can actually resend.
Yeah.
There isn't really that big of an issue with the cards not being redeemed. So you could just, rather than having to call someone and say, hey, I gave you that card 6 months ago. Have you done anything with it? We could just resend it out again. So it's like, hey, reminder, to redeem. So the digital delivery is really nice on that. For our plastic cards, we really encourage people just to jot down a little note. If you're sending out, let's say that you're doing stocking stuffer, because I know we're going to be talking about holidays, and you want to put in, we had someone that bought 20 or 30 different stocking stuffer cards. She loaded them up for $20. They each had a different theme on them. She picked it out from our shopping cart. It was great. And we just said, you know what, just make a little note. I'm giving this to my niece and I'm giving this to my cousin and this and that. Because you can check back in with us at any time and we'll run a redemption report. And then you can go, those 3 relatives didn't cash their card. So maybe I'll need to mention it to them the next time I see them or something like that. So there is definitely a way to track, which, by the way, retail cards for Best Buy or Bed Bath & Beyond or Home Depot, whoever we're used to, they can't do that. Yeah, if you bought someone a retail gift card and you just gave it to them, you would have no way to ever know whether they used it or not. And I think that that's really critical. So in one of I think the main advantages, not only are you giving to charity, but that you really do have a way to track it and make sure that even if for some reason it's not redeemed, it's still going to charity.
So you guys are doing your best to make sure that the person who receives the charity gift is able to actually redeem it. Because
Absolutely.
I've got a stack of gift cards. I have no idea how much is on it. I might even accidentally throw it away. Like, this one's empty for sure. Throw it out.
Right.
Because, that's just how gift cards are. Like, I'll go through an old box and I'm like, oh, look, there's gift cards in here.
Right.
I literally, and maybe it's 30 cents even on there, but still, like,
but you can't throw it away because it's money.
Yeah, it's
So,
money,
yes.
right? But I'm never going to use it.
I know. So that's a whole other segment we'll have to have us back to talk to you about, because the average person has about 200 gift cards, retail gift cards, $200, thanks, of retail gift cards lying around, like wherever.
Yeah.
And literally you can turn those into charity dollars through Charity on Top. And in fact, we have disaster relief. So for instance, the Hurricane Michael that just went through the Panhandle, which my family's affected now, and they're figuring out where they're going to live and all of that. I mean, this is personal now for us. We can donate our gift cards directly to those relief efforts. And those are the kinds of things that we're looking at as well, because people are like, how do I help in any kind of a disaster? This is a really simple way for you to open up that junk drawer and take out, 4 cards to someplace you'll never go to.
I've got a cup full of cards full of money that someone else is making money on. And
Sure that is. Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. So here's my new plan. Tell me what you think. I want to... I'm going to call it ambush charity. So I want to build like
this could go either way.
No, it's good. I think it's good.
Right?
Don't be too nervous. It's a good thing. But I want to gather a group of people that'll commit like me, like just trying to give a little bit each week. And we're talking a tiny amount of money, but like 500 people giving $10, it's a lot of money. So, and then I want to take and buy that card and then give it to someone and be like, hey, a bunch of us got together and you're the weekly person. Give this to whatever charity is important to you. And then so hopefully that'll stick and they'll be like, well, what are you doing this for? Like, we're doing this because we want to try to help, but we want you to pick the charity this time. And so hopefully that'll create a little bit of magic for that person and inspire other folks to do just like the tiniest little bit of giving. I
love that for sure. Cool. And you can also, I think, add that in. Let's say that you did the same thing and you bought a card and you gave it to a charity who helps individuals, right? Yeah. So maybe there's charities that will go in and pay someone's layaway for all their holiday gifts and things like that. So you could do it in reverse, where you give it to the charity and say, we want to support this particular family this year. So you could really do it kind of in both directions, where you could give it to somebody that wants to make a charitable donation to something that they care about. And then you could also donate it to a charity and say, we want to help someone specific, or we want to help someone do this. Because remember that the money goes to the charity no matter what. And you can switch the cause sort of depending. I love the flexibility, because you're not married to one cause, because life doesn't just give us one cause. Life just happens. And your face lit up when you were talking about the ALS gala, and you were like, I'm all into it. And then your face lit up when you were on Mission Bit and Save the Brave and Merging Vets for Pets and all the stuff that I know that you support and do. Your face lights up. So you're like, this week I'm super passionate about this, but something about life happens to us. And I think that that's the important part too, is that it doesn't stay stagnant. We might have our favorite charity, and then our best friend gets diagnosed with breast cancer, and then everything is diverted that way. Or our church is working on a capital campaign, or our temple, and we want to put money that way. And that's the other great thing about Charity on Top, is that we do support and we do have religious organizations under our umbrella, which allows people to give to those religious organizations, or to give someone a Charity on Top gift card and go, they might donate it to their church, they might not, I don't know, but that's up to them to decide.
Sure. And maybe they're supporting a missionary this week. And those guys always need money.
Always. And people really enjoy doing that. And so many other charitable programs don't allow for that. I think that that's one big exception to us. And if that's your strong point, that's where you want to give. Especially over the holidays when we have Hanukkah, and we have Kwanzaa, and we have, Christmas. And I just learned that Serbian New Year is January 7th, I think. So there's all these sort of things that come up that have meaning for people. And certainly, it's something that's very personal to them, whether it's religious or not. But it really gives people an opportunity to.
There's a lot of holidays, you're right, that involve giving Boxing Day.
Boxing Day, yes. Is that Canadian?
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of places, they give for that holiday. And Epiphany isn't just Bosnia or Serbia. It's like all of the Eastern Orthodox type churches, and that is all about bringing gifts to someone, you know. So yeah, it's a great idea. Let's go back real quick, just because not everybody's like sitting there writing down the notes.
They're not?
No, I know. It seems weird. But so if you guys want to join me and give this holiday, even if it's, you know, a small amount of money, you can go to charityontop.org. And then you can pick a charity. And if you don't have one in mind, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Facebook. You guys know how to get a hold of me, Pete A. Turner. And we'll pick one together, whether it's Mission Bit or...
Fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I have suggestions. Because there's so many, so many people trying to do this. And here's something else. We all get so mad at each other and angry and watch the news and get all fired up. But if we focused 10% of that effort on helping somebody who needs help right now today, or, you know, a company that, or an agency that is like, we already have this built, you know, we're already helping folks. Gosh, I mean, you can still go be mad at somebody 90% of the time, but you would spend 10% actually putting, you know, like everybody is sad that, you know, those little kids getting bombed in Syria and people feel bad about Hurricane Michael and all these other things. But what are you doing? You know, like, do you just feel sad, or do you take as much? It doesn't have to be much. Like, I don't have much to give, but I give as much as I can.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, people don't realize how much of that adds up. And Kathy and I have been in charity for, you know, almost 20 years, and combined, you know, almost 40. And it's amazing how, if you're on the other side and you're at a charity and those checks are coming in from $10, people are making $10 a month, or, you know, it's the cute little letter that you get from a child that says, hey, I saved up my allowance and I'm sending it to you, right? Or I had a lemonade sale, or my son did this, or my daughter's classroom did this, or whatever. And it's $53.14, or it's $16.
Yeah.
Those things mean something to you because the person that's giving them, it's all relative. Mm-hmm. So if, you know, $10 may be the largest amount that you can give, and a charity understands that that's relative. That's a lot of giving for you. That could be even sacrificial for you. We don't know the circumstances by which. So I think understanding that $10 makes a difference, your $100 makes a difference, your $5 makes a difference. So that's why we, you know, really encourage people to give where they feel comfortable. On the website, they can give starting at $5. Our card values load up starting at $5.
Yeah.
So they're just easy to be able to give that way. But it does make a difference. I think that point is really worth talking about, which is, don't feel like you can't make a difference with what you're doing. Because I know the giving that you give, Pete, because Kathy and I get to see it. And and we know who you give to, and we know who you support. And like I said earlier, you're the real deal. But it makes you feel better in your heart.
Sure.
And there's a lot of really freaking cool stuff out there that nonprofits are doing. In fact, we would argue that the nonprofits are the one that are trying to solve all the world's problems right now. Because there's a nonprofit for all of these problems. And there's, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40 of them that are trying to, like, hey, someone needs to fix this. They need help to do that. They're not government supported. They're individual, independent supported organizations. So they are ecstatic when your $10 comes into the mail, especially if they didn't have to do anything.
Yeah. And there's almost a category for every life calamity that happens. Like, you're a spouse of a special operations soldier and that person dies.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they're like, what am I going to do now? I was a homemaker, and now the breadwinner is not only dead and I'm devastated, but what's going to happen next week? You know?
Right.
And maybe your friends and family put together something to get you through a few weeks, but who's going to help bridge that gap as much as possible? You know, and that's just one example of
but that's such a good example. Like, see, I have like literal goosebumps. They can verify that I have goosebumps about this, because what I started to vision right away, and Kathy knows this too, because we've started charities together, is that was a conversation that happened at a table somewhere where someone, either they were the ones that lost their husband, or someone was watching someone go through that and said, where's all the help? This is not just you, it's happening to everybody.
Right.
And that started with them collecting $10 from their friends and $20 from their friends and going, hey guys, we all got to get together. I mean, it's why those collective things work. Every single nonprofit started from one person's story, going, this isn't just happening to me, and I'm going to fight the fight on behalf of everybody.
Right.
So I love thinking about that. I mean, some of the largest names of our charities all started at nothing bigger than the table that we're sitting at right now, and it's like, you have to really think about the impact of that and what that means and where it's coming from, because it's human based.
Yeah, absolutely. Any of the Augie's Quest is a great example. You're diagnosed with ALS, and he's like, well, how are we going to deal with this? And one of the first things he thinks of, I'm going to have to blink a lot.
Is that what you call it, blinking a lot?
Well, it matters to me,
It does. It's hard.
He thinks of charity,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He himself thought, how can I leverage this? How can I make a difference for other people so that the next guy isn't as alone as he's going through it? Oh,
It's true. It's true. It is. It's true.
Yeah.
It goes
powerful.
back to those. It is.
You remember that, like Marchelle said, every single charity started from someone doing that.
Right.
From someone saying, this is going on for someone else or for me and my family, and it's not okay.
Yeah.
And can we pull together? And every donation, if it's a $5 donation, $10 or $10,000, every donation that they receive is a validation. It's a vote for someone saying, like, thank you, Augie, for doing that.
Yeah, I believe
I'm
in
with
you.
you.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
And for every, whatever the cause is, so it's saying to them, I'm with you, and I'm glad you're working hard to do this. And I wish I could do more, but I can't do everything. I can't go down to Florida right now and move trees and dig people out and wash people's clothes and all the stuff that has to happen after the wake of Michael. I can't do that right now. I wish I could, but my little bit of money to go to, maybe Direct Relief is an organization that's on the ground. They were there. They were actually prepared in advance. They had medications on deck. They had supplies ready to go. They're a logistics dream. And so at least I can tell Direct Relief, I'm with you.
Right.
And I'm giving my little bit so that you can continue to do what you're doing.
I love that vote. It's a vote. It's awesome, Kath. I think it really is.
I'm using my few dollars to say that this is what's important to me as well.
Yeah.
And I love your idea, Pete. If someone doesn't know if they don't already have a charity in mind or anything that really gets them excited, they should talk to you about it.
Yeah.
They should talk to us about it, because believe me, we can tell you everything. If animals are your thing and that's the thing that just tugs you the most, then let's help you choose it.
We've got some lemurs for you to love on.
Oh my God, there's a charity called Lemur Love. It's one of our favorites.
We're all about them.
Lemur Love. Yes.
We didn't know that the lemurs needed love, but now that we do, we want to love
Once
on
you
them.
hear it, you go, oh my gosh, lemurs need love. Absolutely, absolutely. There's a charity for anything that matters, really.
Yeah.
And so there is a charity for anybody. There's a charity for you. There's a charity because it's going to be meaningful to you and that you can feel passionate about, because there's so much going on. Like Rochelle said, the charities in the U.S. are doing the heavy lifting. We really are addressing the problems of individuals and communities and our society and all those kinds of things. You get to send them a little bit of love.
Yeah, you get to send them your vote. Voting is important. Let's vote to help folks.
Right? Yeah.
When you think about, we have this conversation all the time at home, but like, let's say there's a calamity and 3 people died and 25 were injured. We just wipe away those 25 people, but oftentimes they are debilitated by this injury and their life is completely changed and largely through no fault of their own. Like if you're in a car, like we had a bus crash on the 405 recently, and it shut the whole dang thing down and all these people got hurt. What if that person was living on the edge of financial survival?
Right,
and now
before that accident.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
now they're dealing with that.
Right. Yeah. And maybe they got back to work in 2 weeks. Maybe they were lucky, but maybe they don't get back to work ever. And have to deal with it. There's someone who helps those people.
There is someone, thankfully, and that may be one or multiple nonprofits.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's a really good point, because we don't hear about. Well, first of all, we don't really hear the extent of their injuries, and we really don't hear about what happens to them a year later if they're unable to walk or anything like that. So it is kind of the sort of the forgotten ones, and I think everybody could say that, because we're just so on to the next and on to the next, and
the next
I think
calamity.
Exactly. Calamity. Maybe because we're just getting used to it, which is really not good. So how do we kind of pause for a second
That's a great point.
Take gratitude. And
I don't want to feel like we're running a telethon here, but it is a great point though, because we do take things for granted. Like I've been saying lately, like we are so fortunate here in this nation. We have potable water everywhere.
Right.
We literally poop and pee into it and just flush it away.
Right.
And there's people that are desperate and will drink
right.
whatever water they've got,
That's right.
But we lose sight of that and lose sight of like, yeah, you want to help someone, like when the president was going to have his goofy military parade, which by the way, no military member ever wants to be in those parades. They're terrible. Instead of complaining about it, go feed a veteran.
Yes.
Go give some money to someone who does that,
Yeah.
And it's, I'm going to cry again, maybe.
Yeah. But you're right to say thank you for your service.
Yeah,
And I'm
exactly.
not just going to complain about something that I don't agree with. I'm going to transfer that.
yeah, I like how you're moving that over. You're kind of moving the needle and going, as much as like we're all sort of here, what if we move the needle and just said,
This episode of the Break It Down Show is brought to you by Lions Rock Productions.
That's us.
We publish, evaluate, and develop podcasts just like this one, consult others to build their own, and create associated content and content marketing strategies.
So if you're launching or expanding your social media presence, your business or your personal brand, or if you just want to take your media presence to the next level,
Reach out to us on Twitter
at Pete A. Turner,
or at JohnLG69.
at the Break It Down Show.
There's 1,000 ways to get a hold of us.
Now enjoy the show.
what if we move the needle and just said, in protest of
Yes.
this goofy
Yes.
idea,
Yes.
I'm going to do this awesome thing instead.
Right.
Or
Right.
however it all comes out. But
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, go do your rant and be mad and everything, but
Yeah.
then also like,
But channel it.
yeah,
You
and then don't
and-
even give it for yourself. Like, go, I know that this is important to so-and-so, so on their behalf. And then all of a sudden, not only does the charity get like the $15 or whatever it is, but you get to go to your person and say, I know this is important to you. I support you.
Exactly.
Here's $15 for the thing that you love.
Right. Yeah. I did this on your
That's
behalf,
lovely.
or my father died in the war and
Yeah.
he would never be able to be in a parade, even if there was a parade for him. So
Right.
I'm going to make a donation in his name,
Yeah.
in his memory, because he wouldn't have been able to be in a parade or whatever. It still goes back to being personal and how things affect you.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people out there, millennials especially, we hear from, that kind of don't have their favorite charity picked out yet. They're not there yet. And they're really looking for a lot of guidance, and they feel like they have to find a charity that's going to use their money super wisely. But how is that? And they
Yeah.
get kind of stuck. So I would encourage, and I'm going to just, sort of reiterate that anybody that really wants to be more charitable, and you can be charitable on a regular basis, not know who to give to quite yet, definitely reach out. And because I think that it would be a great conversation to help people along.
Sure.
Don't get stuck at not knowing.
Yeah. Just think like if I could start my little charity club thing and we started ambushing people with charity, if it was 10 people, and we each gave $10 a week, which, gosh, come on.
Yeah.
Almost everybody can give $10 a week.
Right.
You would have a lot of money going to a charity every week.
Yeah.
It's just such an interesting thing. And I love that the fact that the holidays are coming up. And so hopefully a couple of us will help join up and give someone else something that is in desperate need of help. Whether it's the charity, like we really need, this extra bit of money for this case or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's available to us.
Well, there's a ton of ways to use the charity on top cards, over the holidays. And we had a woman who she's a grandmother, and she's got, 15 grandkids, and oh gosh, those grandkids don't need anything else. We spoil the heck out of them every year. I don't want to not give them gifts.
Sure.
But I would love to give them charity also. So we call it putting charity on top. So it's like you put charity on top of the gift that you're going to give. So we do understand that our card is not meant to be the end all be all for everybody. Mm-hmm. It might be, I'm like, I at my age, I don't want gifts anymore. So
Sure.
a charity top would be perfect. That's exactly what I would want. But it also is a nice way to start to teach young people about charity. And we had a donor really early on, did this really great project over Thanksgiving. We may have talked about it on our last show, but it's super cool. So we're going to bring it up again. It's awesome. she had, I think, 18 people over, and it was all of her family members for Thanksgiving dinner. And she had us make 18 gift cards. Of course, we customize them for free, so she was able to put on the pictures of everybody.
Say that part again?
Yes, we customize them for free. You can actually have a gift card with pretty much anything you want on it. So,
nice.
So she was able to take pictures that she had of her nephew and her parents and things like that and put them on the gift cards. She loaded them up. And in her case, she did $100. It was really generous. $5, $10 cards would do the same thing.
Yeah.
But they sat down for Thanksgiving dinner and they saw these cards. And the topic then of their Thanksgiving dinner was gratitude. And it was also, I'm grateful, not just like I'm thankful for this and I'm thankful for this. And we go around the table, but thankful and grateful. And who am I going to give this money to?
Yeah.
And what's interesting is it started and sparked this really great conversation among them at Thanksgiving that would never have happened otherwise about why they believe in the kinds of charities that they believe in from a kid's perspective all the way.
Yeah, and the two of the, I forget if they were brothers or cousins, but two of the young men, kids, at the table decided that they were gonna collude and that they were both going to give their cards to the same charity.
Yeah.
Because it would have that much more impact.
It was juvenile diabetes, wasn't it?
Exactly
JDRF.
Was, and they had a conversation about one of their cousins had been recently diagnosed with juvenile diabetes, and these kids just had such a heart for that to be able to say, I'm grateful that I don't have that challenge and that I don't have that struggle. And my heart goes out to my loved one who does have that. And so I'm excited to tell them, guess what? My charity gift card went to an organization that's helping you and your family and kids like you. Yeah. And it just, so this donor said that it just completely changed the complexion of the conversation at the table. And coming from a kind-hearted family, you would have a kind conversation, and Thanksgiving's often about gratitude, and we often talk about that, but it really took it to another level.
Yeah.
And it really made everyone start thinking, where do I want my card to go? What charity do I want to choose? And how do I interact with the various charities? And then they're talking about all the different charities across the table. I'm like, Grandma, wait, which one are you talking about now? I didn't know anything about that. Okay, that's really great too. So next time I'm going to give to that. And it just really, she said it was the most magical type of dinner conversation at Thanksgiving that year.
I seriously, I had goosebumps a minute ago, but I didn't point them out. But as a parent, if I'm sitting at that same table and my 13-year-old son has a card and I'm listening to him say where he wants to donate to, that's one of those parental highlight moments in your life right then, right? Yeah. Because you're like, oh my gosh, my 13-year-old boy has a heart. There's something in there that gets to him. Yeah. And I know my son's very much into homelessness and very much into animal causes as well. And I love that about him, but he could totally surprise me in that conversation. So I just think, that was her family and those kids were there. And they, like Kathy said, they're colluding together to determine that they're going to do this on behalf of their cousin. I don't know, those parents. That's just a pride parent moment right there, because we are teaching kids and they are understanding the importance. It's not just of giving to charity in a dollar sense, but having that compassionate heart to go, they need help. Yeah. Someone needs help. And I can be of that. So it is this way of teaching future generations about charity. Charities have been around for a long time, and we go back and look at all the things that we are enjoying. They'll go back to a 5-hour work week and why we don't do this and why we don't do this, and being able to vote and doing all these other things. That's all nonprofit. Yeah, those are all charitable organizations. That's who's been changing the world. So it's just, again, it's getting the future generations to understand the importance of that. So every time we give, every time we use a tool like Charity on Top, gift cards or whatever, we are perpetuating in the most favorable way this awesomeness of giving and being in the community and voting and really getting people to understand why giving is so important.
So many great things in there. You're right. If your kid says, oh, I'm going to invest 25% of my check every week, you'd be like, super, super smart.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like you.
Yeah.
You're a
Right.
good kid.
Way to go.
But when they,
that's my kid.
when they throw
Blame
charity
on
in,
that. Right, throw charity in.
it's a totally different
Exactly.
thing. It's such a powerful thing. Yeah. So many Christmas parties, so many holiday parties, Hanukkah parties, all these different events, corporate parties,
Easy.
everything. I guess corporate
Easy.
people
Isn't
too.
that easy for you? Don't you have the solution?
Yeah, just bring it. If you're going to go to a Christmas party, bring it for the host.
That's right.
Be like, I'm going to bring you some
Exactly.
charity, or recommend, hey, if you're going to host and you want to give out gifts in the gift bag, in the invite, or whatever, everybody,
Right.
we're going to do this or whatever it is. It's a zillion ways to use charity on top, and just really how to think of it is on top of what we're already going to do. How do we help someone?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. We've had people say, no more. I'm not giving any gifts whatsoever. Everyone's getting a charity on top card.
Sure.
This is how we're doing it. And we've had other people that are like, this will work for a really good number of people. Not so much about the other ones, but I'd like to add charity on top to that as
Sure.
well. So it's really kind of customizable depending on, the person that you're giving to. You know what they're going to be, what's going to make you feel comfortable and what they're going to really enjoy. So we are kind of here. And we're here all year round. So,
Right.
We've got a really great donor that buys a bunch of charity on top cards and keeps $10 cards, in her purse. And so anytime she's forgetting a gift or as a hostess gift,
Sure.
or someone says, hey, will you give to my charity? She just gives them a card. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a nice thing. You can buy them all at the same time and then you give them out as you need to. And I think that makes a big
Right.
difference. So that's really, really good.
It is a quick and easy, down and dirty way to do it. And really, it is like, it's something that we all intend to do, but how do you flex that giving muscle? And who's got a giving muscle? Like we all can have one. It's
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think we think about people that we're so used to having the ability to give because they have all this money to give.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is that everyone is giving. And in the U.S., we're one of the biggest.
The most philanthropic nations
Yeah.
in the world. We really are.
Yeah. And you know what? It's actually lower to middle class that do the majority of giving because we're giving through our churches, we're giving through causes that are, important to us, et cetera. Yeah.
Well, we are running out of time.
No.
I know. And it's always
I know.
so
Are they
much
kicking
fun.
us out of this room? Is that what's going on? They're
Kicking
like,
us out of the room. But also, you've got a very important phone call coming up, so we got to make sure you make that. And just always thank you so much. I want to do more with you all because, look, it might take 15 of these shows to build 10 people together that want to give. But okay, we've done 2. Let's get another 13 done.
Yeah.
well, we're happy to ambush charity with you because I think that's,
Such a fun
we
idea.
call it disruption, but I like your word a lot better because
Yeah.
it's really what we're doing. So
Just
yeah.
think, like you show up and you're like,
Love
here
it.
you
Bam.
go, sourpuss or whatever. We all got together. We want you to
Yeah.
be able to give to what matters to you.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to do, and it really is like it really is so simple and easy to go to your guys' website and do it. So anybody
you.
who wants to join me
Good.
should just shoot me a note, and I'm going to say yes. I'm going to want to participate, and if you have a charity, I would love to hear about that.
Yeah.
And then I want to hear how you're going to give. A couple of bucks a week.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
nothing. So
Well, they can also write in and tell us what their favorite charity is if they have one. Kathy has a great saying that her favorite charity is the one she's just hearing
That's
about.
right.
And we just did that yesterday. We learned about a
Yes.
whole new charity yesterday. And so it's like, tell us about the charities too. We know a lot about charity, but it's awesome to hear from people that have their favorite because they're passionate about it. It
Yeah.
comes from someplace really deep inside, and that's the best.
I must have 20 charities at the top of my head now from this
I think
whole
you
past
do.
year.
No, I think you do.
You know?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, you need someone? How about this? Oh, you don't like
Right.
that? How about this? You like
Right.
dogs? How about lemurs?
See, now you know. Pet skunks.
Yeah, we've
Who'd have known?
Who would have known?
Yeah, there is something for everyone.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Yeah, thanks for having us back. We appreciate it. You're awesome, Pete.
anytime.
Thanks for all the giving, too. You have a very big heart, and you blink a lot.